Going live. Going live.
I feel like you're going to destroy me because do you really know this movie verbatim?
He literally, yes.
I literally, yes.
Last night, he's like, oh, we got to watch the movie because I haven't seen it in a while. And we watched it.
Which is true. I probably haven't seen it in at least 5 years.
The intro credits roll in and he's already saying the words. And I'm like, the fuck are we doing here then?
Listen, it's
and the next hour and a half was David.
One of my favorite movies. Like, we can get into it later. I want to talk about it like in depth because I think it is like really, like, all joking aside, all the irony and all the hilarious nostalgia, I think it is a really well done and well shot movie. But we'll have to so PJ, here's my ruling as usual. Maybe you're familiar, maybe you're not. We don't start the show for real, legitimately, until we get 5 people in here.
Okay.
So I'm not going to officially acknowledge you, but you are free to speak if you so need to. I won't begrudge you of that.
Okay, I just pulled it up so I can at least see you.
Hey, see that? Here's the. I've got so many. Okay, there's Kayla. So we got 4 people.
I gotta.
Now Kayla has multiple personalities. Something's going on.
5 people? I'm here.
Listen, Kayla, while you're here, let me run this up your flagpole. You want to be a mod for this chat, like for this channel? Like, I realize that's probably more work than you want, and I keep asking you to do things for the show. But if you were a mod, if you're going to be here anyway, you can, like, if Krista isn't here, you can step in and kick ass if need be. Like, I need someone on point in case we do another live stream of the show, and I can't look at the chat, but there's someone maybe getting rowdy and they need to be shown the door.
It's usually RJ.
Andy showed up for a minute to tip over all the bar stools, piss in the corner, and then run away.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we have 5. So PJ, buckle up. Let me get ready.
I'm ready to rock.
Ooh, I will give you first person in the chat to see the Easter egg I planted in my crap dungeon back here. Something will happen. Nice. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the stream. My name is Dave, and this is Hangout. And I need to find like a real name for this show, since it's going to be like a fucking real regular ass thing.
Hang out and chill, like
hang
Netflix
out and chill.
And chill.
Well, yeah. Eventually, I'll have to, after we drop trivia, it'll be maybe just hang out and party.
Fistful of trivia.
Hang out and party. Well, we're going to drop the trivia, so that would be counterproductive.
Fistful of hangouts.
Fistful of hangout. I don't know. I like hangout and something. So maybe it'll just be like, we'll do it like maybe each thing will be its own like season. Like we'll do hangout and trivia, hangout, and I don't know what else we could do.
Kayla says, I think I see it. I think it rhymes with Macy Bones Task.
Macy Bones Task. I can't put those things together.
OMG.
Could you please just help me here instead of overreacting?
Because
help me.
It will give it away. And Kayla's already right. Casey Jones mask. Macy Bones Task.
Oh, God
Casey
damn it.
Jones
I
mask.
thought she was talking about being a mod, and I thought there was some sort of pun going on.
Negative.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, okay, well, Kayla, you got it. Congratulations. Guys, I haven't even introduced the guests yet. You may recognize him from this show. He was on it before. Were you on were on the version of YouTube, or were you on Facebook?
I was on the first one you did on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were our maiden voyage, if you will.
Yes.
I think it worked out. So here you are again. On the full-blown show. I had to have you back. So of course I say PJ. His name is PJ, by the way. PJ, you back on the show.
Yeah. Here I am.
Welcome, PJ. I'm glad. I want somebody to play some applause. Oh, also, God damn it. So here's what I was. Here's why you don't. You spend so much time putting your son to bed, and you think, oh, I got this covered. I'll just run around and get everything ready before I have to get ready, and then you leave off half of it, and then the other half you just sort of bullshit your way through. Like right now, I'm talking, I have no reason to talk except to fill time as I look for something that I wanted earlier but haven't found yet. Here it is. It's not there yet, though. I'm going to go
You're
ahead and
supposed
find
to
it.
be the host. The hostess
Andy's
with
in the
most.
typing square.
Oh, hey, Andy.
He's applauding.
Let's see if this works. Okay, here we go. Nope. Sorry. Psych. Just kidding. This is what I wanted to do. So pretend like the intro of the show never happened. PJ, you're not here. Shh. Here's how we're going to start the show. That first part, don't listen. Don't listen. Here we go. Oops. Hold on. Something's happening. Here we go.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the welcome to the stream. My name's Dave, and this is a Hangout with PJ. PJ, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now that is how you start a goddamn show. And that was what I meant to do.
I'd like to point out, though, I have no idea what was going on. That was dead silent for me. I just saw you like headbanging in the background.
No way! Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. So the theme song played and is playing. So I'm gonna have to really address that with every guest beforehand now. Whoops.
But can the chat hear it?
The chat can't hear it because they're hearing the stuff that's going into our headphones. So they totally heard that. Right, chat? Because look at Kayla said, gotta admit that's pretty cool.
That's
which
not...
I imagine that's what she was talking about. That is exactly what she was talking about.
My mother heard it.
And mom-in-law heard it. So PJ, here we are once again back on the show. Thanks for coming, obviously. We got our ducks in a row a little more. Show's a little more professional, as you just heard. You have to pretend like you heard it.
I just heard it.
Yeah.
It's all news to me.
There's a lot of moving parts to the show. I'm going to be honest with you up front in case things start fucking up. So I put on all my rings because I was like, I got them. I'm going to wear them. So if there's a bunch of clicking in this episode and I have to take them off, like put that in the comments.
Do you need more?
I've got one for each finger, and then I've got 20 more on a dresser.
Yeah, he's got some backups in case one breaks down.
It depends on PJ. It depends on the day. If I want to be flashy, I'll pull out the pirate ring with all the gold, or not the gold, but the rubies around the outside and the rubies in the center. If I want to be a little edgy, I wear my skull line up exclusively. But there's a few favorites I go to. Obviously, J-Dog makes the list.
Andy says, I'm going to go cook dinner. Y'all have fun losing to Dave at TMNT Trivia.
P.S. You can't put us on in the background. Just turn off Family Guy. Put me on the TV, Andy. I want to be there. Every once in a while, I want to do this.
He wants to feel your dinner.
I want to feel your dinner, and I want to smell it. Every once in a while, I'll be like, check in with Andy. I smell the carrots, the onions, peppers. Guys,
just a lot of things going on there.
Simple recipes. So, PJ, what else is new is the introduction of the FFOP5. Now, are you familiar?
Am I familiar?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nice. So here it is. The FFOP5 is the 5 questions I devised to ask everybody who comes on the live stream ever since I decided to write them down and use them. So it's a long tradition of 4 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But it's not the age that matters. The length of the tradition is not important. What is important is this is the most comprehensive, intelligence and emotional intelligence test ever devised by a human.
Oh, okay.
Aliens may have something.
Now I'm intimidated.
So you should be. What happens is after I read you these 5 questions in my notebook, it will dictate how I treat you for the rest of our relationship together.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's a big deal.
The stakes are high.
So that's what I'm getting at here, PJs. I would not phone these in if I were you.
All right.
So are you ready to take the FFOP5?
I was born ready.
All right, here we go. Question 1, what is something you're into that most people aren't? Something you could talk about for a long time and maybe bore someone else to death about because they don't care.
Brew science.
Brew science.
Yeah.
That sounded like you said brew science. I was like, who the hell is he? So brew science. So you are obviously, some sort of brew master. I assume recreationally, along with being one professionally.
Yes.
Tell us about
I can
that.
bore people to death with the actual science of brewing.
So because now this show is not unfamiliar with brewers because Andy Farkey, the paleontologist, is also a brewmaster in his own right, and I think Gavin dabbles. So I mean, we've got a long lineage here. So I mean, when you're doing this stuff at home,
yes,
are you one of those guys who follows the recipe and is like, yes, I did it, or are you out there freewheeling, adding the little herbs and spices that maybe aren't on the recipe?
Well, the thing is, like, I create the recipes, so I build the recipes before I go in and do it, so I know like what. Like, yeah, I'll try adding things that aren't normal, essentially,
like
to
glass.
the recipes. Like I made for instance, I made a pale ale at one point in time with coconut in it, which is pretty much something you just don't do. But I tried it.
Listen, coconut is. I feel bad for coconuts because like they're the most hated like food, like right below pineapple. If you say pineapple on a pizza, somebody will want to shoot you in the neck with a spear gun. And if you say I like coconut, everyone will be like, what the hell is wrong with you? I don't get it. I think those two fruits don't get enough love. And one's not even a fruit, it's a nut.
Yeah.
But yeah, PJ. But you got to do that stuff sometimes. If you don't try, you don't know. Because what if it would have turned out great and you were like, you know what, I'm on this coconut bandwagon.
I mean, most beer was an accident anyway, so.
I mean, realistically. But now it's a controlled accident, so you can accidentally create something, like you need your own buzz beer.
Yeah, pretty much.
But at this point, I mean, let's be real. There's no new ideas. What could you possibly do that hasn't been done by some human already in regards to beer?
The problem is that in the beer industry, people are afraid to make they take too big of chances because you have to sell the beer. So if you take like a really big chance, like a really weird chance on a lot of beer, it makes it like impossible for the sales reps to sell, and they'll hate you.
Right, but there have been instances of that. Everybody remembers Crystal Pepsi. Everybody remembers New Coke. Everybody remembers all those those bullshit brands that came and went. Beer should maybe I'm not even saying like let's see that sort of stuff from big name breweries, because like there's no person behind Budweiser. There's a board of like old dudes operated by punch cards. They don't care. They just want to make money.
Everything in their process though is mechanical. There's people who just press buttons. They don't have to do anything. And
so it's like, why bother? It's like watching. I get it. Like there are people out there who are like, I love a good Budweiser because it's the path of least resistance. And then you've got people like PJ who take the most complicated path, but end up with a far superior product. Who's to say that? Who's right? Probably PJ. But I'm not here to judge.
But you are judging me on these questions.
True. I'm not here to judge during the question, but afterwards when I told everything, and that's when the judgment will happen. All right, here's the next one. Give me a band you could listen to exclusively for the rest of your life.
The Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Hard one.
That's why I think with this music question, it's a coin flip, because most of the people, literally half the people I know who I would ask this question to on this show, I can peg them from a mile away. And the other people, it would just be a shot in the dark. Like Randy, no idea what he would be into, and it turns out he's into like emo, punk. But I know that you have been into Arctic Monkeys since, before the evolutionary state.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I can sing most of their songs in their entirety. So yeah,
I get that. Sometimes there are just those bands out there, man, that the synergy lines up. You hit them, like maybe you hit them at their first album or like early on, and then they have this long ass career. Like the Electric Six is like that for me. I just found them, and you just keep going on them. You're like, oh, they got to slip up one time, and half the time you buy the albums out of curiosity, just to be like, did they fuck up?
Yeah, so pretty much.
Yeah, I tried to get into the Arctic Monkeys.
It was just right place at right time for me. I worked at a FYE when they came out, and like they used to play on the overhead all the time, and like I just used to hear them, and I was hooked from that point on.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with the Electric Six. Like my manager, this like cocky asshole who I actually liked because he reminded me a lot of me. He like, and it would piss me off because all the managers got to put 3 CDs in the changer, and every regular employee just got to put 1.
Yeah,
but the silver lining of that cloud was he developed a taste for the Electric Six right around the time I was. So it was like all of my CDs got put in all the time.
I had 2 modes when I did that. It was either I played Arctic Monkeys and everybody was okay with it, or I played Daft Punk and everyone hated me because all I ever played was Arctic Monkeys and Daft Punk.
Yeah, I tried. I was a big Primus head back in those days, and I would put on Primus records every once in a while, and I would get so much hate from my coworkers. I'm like, are you not hearing this? Number one. Number two, we always pushed Primus albums. Like when I put Primus on the stereo, we would move 3 albums within the first hour.
Yeah.
And I would go to my manager. Like I wasn't an idiot back then. He'd be like, I want to. He'd come up and grumble and make change and shit. Like we're sealing with seeds of cheese bullshit. I'm like, guess how many Primus albums I sold, bitch? And guess why it happened? Guess who's not buying whatever this like eclectic bullshit. Like this was the time that I think also Velvet Revolver came out.
Yeah.
What a disaster. Velvet Revolver. Oh.
Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah.
Sad. Like, don't listen. If you made it big and you exited, however you exited, I don't care. Don't come back. Don't farve it. Don't Velvet Revolver it. Just be like, yep, we did it. Bye. Okay. RJ, question number 3. PJ, sorry. Too many R's and P's and J's. RJ, PJ. I feel like Virus needs to have his name changed from Virus to something J. Just to,
AJ.
Yeah, we got RJ and PJ, which is great. And then I got Adam and Andy, which is also a huge tongue fucking motherfuckers. Nobody wants to go by their last names or their middle names. Everybody's got to go by something very similar to the other people I have on this show. Anyway, PJ, you got to lose a limb. One of the 4. You got to lose one right now. Which one is it?
My right arm.
What? This
Are you
is
left-handed?
the worst answer
Yes,
I've
I'm
ever heard.
left-handed.
All right. So explain yourself. What's going on here? Right
I
arm?
only need one hand. I'd rather have both my legs.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because it'd be easier to get around.
But you can get a titanium leg. Like, how are you gonna do some like sick benches with only one arm?
I could just learn to do pull-ups with one arm.
Like goodbye preacher curls, goodbye everything. Like an arm. RJ, PJ, god damn it. Paul, I'm gonna call you Paul. That's it. I'm calling you Paul from now on.
That just means I won't have to wear pants. Can't zip them, but wear them.
I just won't wear pants.
Well, you still got the one. Like I'm not taking both of your arms. You'll still have the one hand to pull up your pants and zip them.
Don't zip your penis into your.
Can't zip pants. All right, fine. I don't get the arm people, but fine. I realize there's a place in society for you. It's just not anywhere near me or my children. Arm. Why would you lose an arm? Oh my god. Okay, so PJ, Paul. Question number 4. What animal would you like to test drive the body of? Like, I'm not saying we're going to pop in there and stay there forever, but like, let's say it's Labor Day weekend, you got 3 days off. We're going to pop your head, or rather your brain, into an animal body, and you can live out the life of XYZ. What are you going to choose? It can be extinct, just not imaginary.
A panther.
Any specific panther? There's a few different, but we're just talking like classic black jungle panther, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So my next question: are you going on a hunt as this panther?
Sure, why the hell not?
That is the correct answer, PJ. Holy shit. Here's what I cannot abide. I cannot abide people choosing an animal with various talents and or equipment based solely around murder and not want to try that shit out. I'm going to give Randy some shit. He said falcon, and I'm like, you gonna kill something as a falcon? Because that's basically what they do. Is they're fast and they're killers. And he's like, nah. But like all bets are off. You'll never get this experience again. You're a completely different species. Like take it all in. Do everything that animal can do in this course of 3 days. Because it why the fuck not, man? It's like the holodeck. Would you stop yourself on the holodeck? No.
Yeah.
Goddamn holodeck question, Randy. All right, so Panther. Now, okay, so why Panther? What about that calls to you?
I just like I don't know why. Just like the whole idea behind like stealth killer cat.
There's something innate about the desire to be a voyeur sometimes. Like the fact that you have access to information that other people don't, I think is appealing. And maybe the Panther embodies that.
Because like, well, when you think about it, like panthers are not easy to see. No. And like they're very good hunters. So like that's just appealing. Like being something that could just like stalk its prey before and be able to hide like that. And even people can't find them that easily. Yeah. So
it's like that's a superpower. Crazy. I wonder if this might be interesting. It might prove how smart I am. But I bet if I put together enough questions, I can guess everything about somebody. This is giving me a good idea, PJ. I'm going to start psychologically profiling people. Again, I used to do it a long time ago just for giggles.
Are you going to have a Netflix series called How to Find a Killer?
Ooh. I'll just it'll be a lot more low budget. It'll be like how to fucking gaslight your friends. Okay, so I like that. I like that answer, PJ. I think that's you're taking this, if not the arm question seriously, you're taking this seriously, and I like that. There's weight to that answer.
Yeah.
Last question. This is your last chance, because let's be real. You kind of stumbled a couple times during this interview, and this may be your glorious pulling up out of a nosedive. So, all right. PJ, yes. 1 to 10. How much do you love Steven Seagal?
Which being the highest?
The classical rules. If you hate him, it's a 1. If you love him, it's a 10.
I would say 5.
All right.
You should just hang out.
I know what answer you want me to give.
What? What do you think I want from you?
A 9.5.
No. What? I have no words, PJ. Here's the problem.
To be honest, there's a reason I gave it a 5, though.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
It's like a beautiful train wreck.
What? Okay, so before I stamp you with disapproval, try and explain what we're talking about here, because I feel compelled by what you just said.
It's just like his movies are so bad they're good to watch. It's like a bad good thing. Like you can't not watch them. They're not good, but you can't not watch them either.
PJ, you have a chance here. You have a chance to redeem yourself.
You're slowly digging yourself out of that grave.
What I want you to do,
I get the same feeling from Nick Cage.
Okay.
Like, some of his shit is so bad, but you just have to watch it because it's so bad it's good.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity here, PJ. This has never happened before, may never happen again. But since I like you, I need a very strong answer from you. That's the only question, the only hint I can give you without flat out telling you what I want. But if something like that is compelling enough that it's so bad that it flips the scale and goes back around to good, I don't know if I personally, like, let's say it's here, this is bad and this is good, right? I'm holding up 2 fingers if you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bad and this is the good. If it's so bad, it flips and goes right back around. See my metaphor? Why would you put it here, right in the middle where my goddamn nose is? Why would you do that to me, PJ?
Because I have to be the middle to his bad and good. Someone has to hold it down.
He's not wrong.
PJ,
if it's like a seesaw, I just want to stand in the middle because he's already on both extremes. Someone has to be in the middle.
PJ, something is happening here. What I'm going to tell you right now has only been said once before. This may be the most compelling thing I've ever heard. You make an argument that Although I don't buy it, I think it's a crock of horse shit. But you are such a good salesman, and I think that you believe it enough to sell it whole. All right, I'll take it. This one time, I'm going to accept a 5. and since no one's ever going to watch the show, so no one's ever going to realize that this ever happened. But I want you to know that you're so goddamn lucky that you pulled your ass right out of that fire. Oh,
Kayla said, "PJ's breaking David."
That was some next level bullshit artistry that I, as a fellow artist, respect. So now, PJ, it's when they start rounding up the cows in the pen,
yeah,
and they head off and into the back of the
slaughterhouse.
truck. Yeah, kind of like that. So this is where we are now. You are in the pen. I'm coming around with my cattle prod. I have my overalls on.
But what if I'm Casey Jones?
One button and done. Whatever a cow's last thoughts are, I'm sure they are grander than I can ever imagine, but they're still their last. So it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the original motion picture trivia time. What I need from you, PJ, Paul, is a team name. I recommend to stay on theme because it's easier. Raph? You motherfucker. See? Oh my God. PJ,
Did I just take your team name?
You are losing all. No, but here's the thing. I have a feeling, and I'm not trying to be cocky, I have a feeling I am going to win. And to disgrace the name of my favorite turtle, I feel like you're doing on purpose.
Everybody likes Raph. If you don't like Raph, you're wrong.
Exactly. But
especially after you watched the movie. If you watched the movie and didn't like Raph as your best turtle, then you were very wrong.
Nate Turtle character, best character. Okay,
like he had the most character development in that movie.
Oh my God, I want to get into the arcs, but moral of the story is: so you are Team Raph. I, in that case, will be Team Oroku Saki. Because we've got to have a yin and a yang.
Well, there goes my
Oroku Saki.
one of my trivia questions.
What? All right. So, PJ, as you know, here's what happens. Since you are the guest, you will be allowed the first question. If you cannot answer, I will be allowed to steal and vice versa until someone is declared the winner. The battery in my camera dies, or we get more trivia questions based around the colors of characters. Krista, why don't you ask PJ the first question?
PJ, what is the first name of April O'Neil's boss?
Don't. Dave.
No.
It's Charles.
Yes.
Charles and his. Okay, I want to.
You
Okay,
can say what his son's name is.
Danny.
Yep.
Danny. It's Dan now. Dan. Oh God! What an emotional moment. Those characters are nothing. They're less than one-dimensional, and I still buy them at the end, even though I still think Danny's an asshole.
Kayla says his
He is
first
an
name is
asshole.
Mister because you don't call your boss by his first name. Show respect.
She does though. He for whatever reason, every time Charles shows up, he brings Danny for one thing, which is always
He just
weird.
walks into her bathroom.
But he just straight up is like, April, you're crazy. And she's like, Charles, get out of my office or bathroom.
Yeah, go to my bathroom while I'm putting makeup on. Why would you let your boss do that?
Could you hand me a towel? Oh, no. My unsightly bathtub ring. Krista, let's keep it moving. You're wasting time here.
What?
Whose question is it?
David.
PJ's?
It's yours.
Did I just answer one?
Yeah, because you
Yes.
stole it. This is the first
Oh,
question.
Holy shit. PJ, you're far behind already.
David, which turtle is the first to meet Casey Jones?
Raphael.
God damn it.
Like, come on. He goes, hey, Bogey.
There-
Holy fuck. One of the best
That's probably one of the best parts of the film.
Not only that, but I think it's so perfect. Oh my god! Like it's these two wisecracking, smart, angry characters, and the best part about it is, even though they're beating the shit out of each other, they're not mad at each other. Listen, we'll talk about the movie later. Krista, whose question is up next?
PJ, how long ago did Splinter say he found the turtles?
Oh, baby turtles.
15 years?
Yes.
God damn it. But here, listen.
I remember they were teenagers. I'm trying to guess, like, okay, how old are they?
In the movie, 15. In the movie guidebook, licensed by Miramax through Eastman and Laird, they range in age from 15 to 17. But Splinter calls them all baby turtles. I want the person who wrote that book to have their hands cut off. Thank you. Misinformation. You know how much time I spent being like, Leonardo's 17 and Donatello's 16, when in reality, canon of it all is they're all 15 when they're found. 15 in a couple months. Be real. Fucking books. Who's up, Krista?
David.
All right, hit me.
Who ultimately defeats Tatsu?
God damn, do I love this scene. So they go to save Splinter, and so spoiler, it's Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Casey Jones hits him in the face with a Big Bertha driver and then gets to tell Sam Rockwell, no less. Sam Rockwell says, this is family. And Casey Jones gets to say, did you say family? Family? You call this up here and that? And he points to Tatsu, down there, family? And then he puts Splinter over his shoulder and they walk the fuck out. Oh, what a great scene. They're all great scenes. Let's be real.
This was my night last night.
There is not a single scene in this movie
Did he stop the movie like every 5 minutes?
No, he just spoke over it.
I know when they say it's like when you know the words of your favorite song, except my song is 94 minutes long, and it actually ends in a song by Partners in Crime called Turtle Power.
It's true.
TURTLE Power.
PJ,
Yes.
where do the remaining members of the Foot Clan say the cops can, quote, find their answers at the end of the movie?
Can I give you a hint? That isn't
Subway?
helpful. No, Sam Rockwell is the one who says he's like the main non-foot related lackey in the movie, which I think is cool. But are you looking for an exact answer, Krista? Because if you're looking, I mean, an address. Are you looking for an address? Because if it's an address, then we're both fucked, probably.
They didn't give an address. I'm
Okay.
not looking for an address. I'm
All right.
looking for.
Then you should be able to get this, PJ. It's easy. He says it right to the chief.
I don't remember. I just said the subway. That would have been my guess.
No, it's the abandoned warehouse. There's an abandoned warehouse. He says, down in the Lower East Side or whatever.
No, I need to know what the name of that is.
I don't remember what the exact name. It's just the fucking warehouse. He says something. It doesn't matter. Moral of the story.
You both got it wrong. It's Lairdman Island. It's the warehouse on Lairdman Island.
Lairdman Island?
And Lairdman Island is
right, a reference to Peter Laird.
And Eastman, or whatever his name is. The two people.
Lairdman? Oh yeah, Lairdman. Yeah, Kevin and Peter. But here's the thing. There are so many references. But they're done so well. They don't hit you. Like in some movies, like you get a reference to like breaking the fourth wall, and it hits you like a steel spike in the skull, and you're like, "Gah!" But this one, like, it's so good, guys. It's so good. You don't even care. You just sail past all the crazy bullshit.
David.
Yeah.
Who played Raphael?
Who's played him?
Who's the actor that played Raphael?
Oh, I don't know the voice actor. Shit. I only know Donatello by name, so I don't know. PJ, if you have a chance,
I remember seeing his name earlier, and I don't remember.
Josh Pais, P-A-I-S. He is the only one to voice him and be him.
Yeah, I remember that, and
he's claustrophobic, and every time he recorded or played a thing, he had to take his helmet off or his head off.
There's a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff where they have like because they had two sets of heads. They had the mechanical heads that had all the robotics and shit.
There's I think it was Netflix that did like a documentary series where they were like how they were made or something.
I'm gonna check that out.
There was a stuntman for, I want to say, Michelangelo, and the robotic head or whatever, it got smashed and it broke the dude's nose, so they had to replace it with somebody else.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like they had the animatronic heads that they couldn't fight, and they had the fighting heads, which were just foam rubber, and they were completely obvious. Like it's one of those things you have to look past when they're like moving or they're fighting and they're talking. Their moves are their lips rather is silent and still as stone.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're sitting or whatever, then you get all the good shit. So, but you have to keep in mind, this was 1990, and these were actual robots being held on their head. This wasn't CG. These people were running around with 80 pounds of electronics on their head.
Yeah, they had motors literally next to their head inside the
crazy stuff. But it's it's perfect, though. It's perfect. It's the perfect movie. That's all there is to it.
PJ, how many puppeteers did it take to operate Splinter?
6?
No.
It was like 4.
No. It was 3.
Damn it. I knew because fuck.
It was one person to do the robotics and then 2 for the actual body and
for some reason I
movements.
thought there was it was set up where like there was one behind, one for like each arm, and they had to move him, and there was one dude in the bottom, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Great puppet, by the way. All Splinter does through the movie, he like all of his dialogue is just like fatherly speeches.
Oh yeah.
He is introduced, the turtles come back, boom, fatherly speech. Raphael goes out, comes back mad, boom, fatherly speech. Splinter gets abducted, gets tortured, and gets his ass kicked, hands out a fatherly speech to Danny, that sack of shit who does not deserve it. And then just like, and then P.S. like as Tatsu's laying there after getting his ass kicked by Casey Jones, he hands out another mini dad speech like right before he gets carted away.
Yeah. That's all he does. He's just out in knowledge.
Yeah, he's just like this stoic furry pillar that sails through the movie handing out wisdom. And also voiced by Grover.
Oh.
I told you that last night.
Yeah, I forgot until you said it again. You said Elmo.
Sorry. I meant Elmo. We've been watching a lot of Sesame Street and the monsters. I wish I were joking when I say that, but I'm watching a lot of Sesame Street. The monsters are starting to blur together.
Oh yeah. RJ? No, PJ?
RJ, are you
David?
there?
Whose turn is this?
Gary?
David.
Randy?
David.
Mm-hmm.
Who said, "Can we keep her?"
Are you fucking kidding me? So here's what happens. Raph brings her home, right? He puts her on the couch. He says, "Oh, I don't know, Leo, a couple of throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think?" So Splinter comes in. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And, Mikey, he's got a horn dog for her. And he goes, "Can we keep her?" That's who says it. Mikey Olangelo. The horniest of the turtles. But still way less creepy than the Michael Bay one. Like, I feel like all of Michelangelo's flirting and, like, desire toward April is almost, like, done for shock value in the first one. It's almost, like, cute. Like, oh, I've got a crush on a teacher. Whereas, like, in the other one, you were afraid that a woman was going to be destroyed by a giant turtle penis.
Kayla says she wants Splinter to wear a knight's helmet and be Super Splinter.
A knight's helmet?
A knight's helmet.
Super Splinter. Or...
I think that was wasn't Super Splinter the Giant? The Big Show? Big Show.
I don't know, man.
I think that he actually played him when he was actually in Super Shredder form.
Big Show?
Yeah.
Like the wrestler?
What? Okay, so here's...
I have to look it up, but I think
full
that was
disclosure, I do enjoy the second movie. However... However,
is that the one with something ooze?
Oh, Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
Oh my god.
Do you not like the music?
Here's what I don't like. So, original TMNT. We'll start there. We'll call that a 10. Parents came, fucked up everything. The studio bent to their will, and we got, instead of a dark movie about ninjas running around at night, having fun, cracking wise, defeating the Foot Clan, we have something that's shot in a shopping mall under complete blasting fluorescent lights. No turtle ever uses a weapon unless you want to count Michelangelo using some pepperonis at the beginning fight sequence. What a fucking disaster. And then, PJ, what did they do to me? We get to the end of the movie. You see Shredder get his ass blasted off of the Vanilla Ice stage. And then the movie has the balls to have the Super Shredder just wreck the fucking place up. Bam! It, for whatever reason, not only did he grow, but his helmet, all of his metal spikes, they mutated as well. But who the fuck cares? Because it is fucking cool. And then that 4.5 seconds later, the building falls on him, and that is it. What?
Apparently, his intellect went out the window when he mutated.
What? I get, sure, yeah, I get. He hulked out. I get. If
you look at all the other mutations, but yes.
But the gall of those filmmakers to go through the effort of finding someone that large, to craft a costume, to whet the appetite of every 10-year-old boy on the fucking planet, only to have someone essentially run into the theater, switch on all the lights, turn off the screen, and kick you squarely in the sack. I want a hashtag. Where's my Super Shredder? Super Shredder, 4 minutes from the end of the movie, in it for 4 seconds. And then it's just like, whoa, what a day. Fuck you, Secret of the Ooze. I love you, but I also hate you. Whose question is it, Krista? Why do you keep letting this happen?
I don't know. I
keep filling these awkward silences as you wait silently over there in the corner.
PJ, who is the only turtle to land a blow on Shredder?
Donatello?
No.
He's the only turtle ever to draw blood. There's your hint, and then the answer is Leonardo.
Yeah.
Slices him in the right bicep because he goes, oh, because he's got that super low voice, and everything he says, oh my gosh, what a great character, Shredder. Super Shredder had everything going for him, and they ripped him from my life. PJ, I want you to write a letter for me because I don't think I can handle it.
I mean, Uncle Phil was Shredder on the cartoon.
Yeah, I love that, but Super Shredder, he ain't. It's a completely different kettle of fish. Who's up, Krista?
You are.
Hit me.
Who said that's gonna cost you, Tinkerbell?
Yeah, that's Casey Jones. Isn't that still within the first fight scene when he meets
I don't know.
Oh no, sorry. Woo! I never said that. He says that to Tatsu because when he shows up, and for what, I don't know why they did this to Casey Jones in this scene. Like, he's a great, he thinks on his feet and he's a good fighter. But when he faces Tatsu, he literally takes shots to the face, stomach, and genitals, all the while being like, I don't think you understand. We're having a fight. And instead of fighting, just keeps getting his ass kicked.
He's handsome.
The next time I saw that actor in something else and realized he was bald, that was a real heart.
Yeah, I saw him in Let Me In.
Oh, so sad. He also played like a psychopath in one of these movies, and you see him, and he's kind of like Christopher Maloney light. He's like a little shrunk down Maloney.
Yeah.
And then when you find out, because that's when you're a kid and you see a person play a character, and that's cemented in your mind for the first time. When you see them out of character, it is world shattering. And when I first saw Casey Jones and he was just a bald dude with no long hair, I was like, no, Casey.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Still a good actor.
Differently of him.
Nice, still good.
PJ, what are the other two female reporters' names?
No idea.
This one even... I know the one from the cartoon, but their roles are so scant. Because they're literally just on a TV being filmed within the movie. I don't know either. I give up.
Well, it's April, May, and June.
All right. I give it to you. I give it to you. All right.
Well, good. That was a question, so
That's why I gave it to you.
you better give it to me.
I will give it to you.
Who wrote the TMNT theme song, David?
From the movie?
I mean, it has to be.
I don't know. Shit. It's got to be somebody big in that time. It's 1990. It's the one thing I don't know about is the music or the other reporters. I want to say it's like Stuart Copeland or something.
No.
I don't know.
It's okay because I don't know it either.
Who is it?
Chuck Lorre.
Chuck Lorre. What else has he done? Didn't he do like a bunch of I'm blanking now. Shit.
His name is super familiar to me, but I don't know what he's done.
I want to say, PJ, you're not in front of a camera, so I want you to look this up. Who the fuck is Chuck Lorre? Because if I say something and I'm wrong, I don't want to look like an idiot.
I feel like he's done like animated sitcom music. I feel like I've seen his name on like Family Guy or something stupid.
Who is the creator and producer of 2.5 Men?
He did 2.5 Men.
Fuck.
Big Bang Theory, Mike and Molly.
Oh yeah, Big Bang.
Young
Theory.
Sheldon.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
Charles in Charge.
But then what? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, and I was gonna be like, oh, he's the guy who did 2.5 Men.
Grace Under Fire.
Grace Under Fire was a good show. So
Did some CSI.
as the director or what, or just the music?
Music. Or no, writer. A lot of writing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know. I now have a love-hate relationship with Chuck Lorre.
So we have one question left. The
Okay.
current score is
Let's hear it.
Team Orokusaki with 6,
Mm-hmm.
and Team Raph has 1.
All right. Well, who would go naturally next?
PJ.
Okay. Should I make this an all or nothing, or should I settle with having a solid 5-point, possibly 6-point lead? I don't want to give this one away, so let's just give RJ the RJ.
PJ.
Put that in an envelope. Mail this question to RJ because he deserves it more than PJ. Right.
Okay,
Damn you
PJ.
guys.
Which turtle said, "Just ninja kick the damn rabbit"?
This is a layup, man.
Just ninja kick the damn rabbit.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit.
Raph?
No.
That's a classic Mikey. It is him and Donnie. Here's the dynamic. Donnie and Mikey are the two close brothers of their ilk, and then you've got Raph and Leo who have like this admiration / like inferiority complex towards each other. Like they're constantly trying to prove themselves to each other. But Raph, he's sort
I'll
of
say it's Raph trying to prove that he's stronger, and it's Leo trying to just be like a leader.
Well, no, I think Raph is trying to prove that he's his own turtle. Like he resents Leo being the leader, and I don't think Leo really sees himself as the leader, but he just falls into that role. And so what I think Raph is doing is he's like, I answer to no one above Splinter and myself. So his whole thing is coming to terms with his deficiencies as a planner, as where Leonardo is more, they all fill their roles and they're all trying to break out. Because Donnie always, he's a nerd, but he wants to be cool sometimes. He tries. He says bossa nova. He says Chevy Nova. And so that's his character. He's a nerd, but he's trying to fit in. And they accept him despite the fact, they're all flawed and interesting characters. Michelangelo in the movie is amazing because he's dumb, but lovable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
PJ, do you remember very early on in the movie, scene, it's dark, sewers, you see a skateboard and turtle feet going through there. Donnie rolls up, sits next to Mikey, and Donnie is trying to be introspective, and he's like, would you ever think about what would happen if Splinter were to not be here anymore? What would it be like not having him? And he goes, oh shit, I forgot the fuck, I forgot the Michelangelo line that set all this up. So he goes to Michelangelo and he's waiting for the pizza. The pizza dude's got 30 seconds. Then Donatello does a soliloquy, and then Mikey goes, "Time's up, $3 off." So, and that would be incredibly irritating if it were anybody but Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I guess.
He's so lovable and
that's just his
innocent.
role.
Yeah, he's like the, even though they're all the same age, they're all 15 and a half, let's say. Mikey definitely feels like the youngest brother.
Yeah.
And it's like Leo's the oldest. Then you have Raph, who was like born.
No, I was gonna say I feel like Raph is probably the oldest.
I just mean like as far as hierarchy goes. Like if this were a family, like a legitimate human family, Leo would have been the first kid. Raph would have been like the Irish twin who's always trying to live up to Leo. Donnie is the guy who is born and breaks out and does his own nerd thing. And then Mikey is the baby who basically gets to get away with whatever and be stupid because he's endearing and he still pulls his own weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in the scene where Donatello's on the skateboard going through the sewers, there's like a scene where you see his hand, and it's a human hand and not a turtle hand.
Yeah, there are some gaffes. There are some scenes, especially in the second one, where like they're wearing their fighting heads and you can see the people in the mouth holes. Yeah.
Awesome.
You have to look the other way when you come across a perfect movie like Ninja Turtles. PJ, what's your favorite part? I'm interested.
See, I like the emo parts with Raph. So like I like the part where Raph pretty much gets his ass handed to him on the rooftop, but like I just like the feeling I get when you watch Leo sitting next to Raph while he's basically unconscious.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like,
and like it's all like the because that's part of like the whole character development is like Leo feels terrible, so he doesn't ever want to leave his side, and like just words don't even need to be spoken, just the feeling you get from that scene.
And I agree with that. However, last night when we were watching it, and what's her face walks into the room, April O'Neil walks into the room, and that music is playing. The way she is walking, I'm like that. She
thinks it's too sexy.
It's too sexy.
I think that is solely a product of the music, because the music is the only thing that dates the movie. Like, take away the soundtrack and replace it with something generic and contemporary or whatever, something that's timeless. Mm-hmm. That movie will last forever. But since it's so deeply embedded, like it's literally 1990 when shit is going from the 80s and people are making these drastic weird changes and doing this like crazy proto hip hop and all the synth shit that was still dying out. It's a rough soundtrack, but they didn't know any better. That was cutting edge at the time.
Yeah.
But I get that.
I just like it in all iterations so far that I've seen of the Turtles. It's always Raph trying to prove he's stronger. And he does. And Leo just comes to terms with that. And Raph ends up coming to terms with the fact that he can't lead them. He's just the muscle, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely they're on various levels of journeys of self-discovery, because I think Leo is the one who has like the greatest handle on himself. Like, he knows he can't fall apart no matter how much he wants to. He knows that he needs to, play it cool. He can't come off as harsh. So I think he's the most aware of himself. So he's like at a 10, and then Mikey's like at a 1, where he's just happy to be alive and he loves cartoons. He likes pizza. And then Mike rather Donnie and Raph are somewhere in there. Like they're not so much into the intellectual. They have something to, or rather like, Donnie dropped emotion altogether pretty much to do science. And Raph dropped like everything in favor of like machismo.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they would fit on the spectrum, but there's various levels of awareness, and depending on where your kid is developmentally, I think they'll be able. Maybe that's like an interesting psychological test. Like, if I can get someone in front of the TMNT movie and I say, "Who's your favorite turtle?" I could probably nail them down to a specific personality type solely based on the turtle they choose and my backwards re-engineering of fan theories.
I mean, like I said, most people like Raph, especially after the movie.
I wouldn't say most, because
I like
growing
Leonardo.
up, I was the only Raph fan.
Really? I also liked the size. Like he had the cool.
Exactly. Are you fucking kidding? PJ, we get each other, so don't get me wrong. I know where you're coming from. I'm getting what you're putting down, but I think if you took the time and like searched back through your memory and all the kids who liked all the different turtles, I think that you would see similar characteristics because I was even as a child a hothead. I still was always right, so that didn't change. But I had a friend who was sort of slow. He had like he would grow up to be a drummer, very competent in something, but not very much going on behind the scenes. And he was a Michelangelo fan. And I think I would really love somebody to make a pie chart of all the people I know and all their favorite Ninja Turtles and see if there's something causative.
Just ask a question and you can make your own pie chart.
Yeah. Joe says hi.
Post the question in the group.
Chair says Leonardo was her favorite, and that's the same as for me.
Yeah, my chat froze. So you're gonna have to keep me up to date. But yeah, so I think I can see Cherish is a Leonardo. I would, damn it, now that you guys are telling me your turtles, I bet I could pick your turtle based on my knowledge of you. Now that I know everybody's, it's too late. But I would have, if Cherish had not said something, would have pegged her as a Leo. Because she's a leader. She's, if you get what I'm putting down. I'm not going to blow up her spot or whatever, but she's definitely a Leonardo.
Joe says, I've never seen any of these movies or watched a single episode of the cartoon.
Joe, if this
is that possible?
If this is not a joke, Joe, if this is not something you are playing for laughs.
That's worse than never seeing any Star Wars. Yeah, that actually might be worse than that.
If you are not trolling me right now, Joe, I am going to get you your pink slip. Do you understand me? How? Have you not seen?
How old is Joe? How?
He's like 55. I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his 20s.
Kayla says, Leo's my zodiac, not my turtle. Joe says 100% true. Chair says he's banned.
20. At 27, I can that.
No,
it's possible to have missed it.
No, PJ.
I grew up with them in my childhood, and I was 34. So at 27, it's possible.
Well, I'm 31 and used to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my cousins. So
yeah,
but
there was a
gap.
There was a gap. That's a 90s baby. They wouldn't have seen it. There was a long gap.
No. And here is why. Now you've gone and set me off. Here is why you have got to have seen at least the first Ninja Turtle movie by the time you were 27. Because guess what? Every fucking 5 years there was another incarnation of the Turtles. They got 4 or 5 cartoon runs. They had an animated movie. They had the Michael Bay movies. There was plenty of time and reminders to go back and see the fucking pioneer, the classic, the perfect film, Joe. And yet, at every turn, you doggedly and purposefully made yourself ignorant of the situation.
He wants
Joe,
to know,
have you ever seen a Star Wars? Because now I'm really curious.
I don't care. That's nothing. Star Wars is nothing compared to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hey, Joe wants to know what turtle he would be.
Since you don't even know.
Not Donatello.
I cannot judge you, Joe, because your knowledge base of the franchise is 0. So I cannot say, I can say who I think you would like, but I don't think even you can give me your favorite turtle, Joe.
Chair says my 20-year-old has seen the turtle movies and cartoons.
They're all. I mean, the turtles are all archetypes. So
yeah.
I left the DVD out in the living room. Shit, I was gonna hold it up like a Bible. This is pure heresy. And Joe.
Okay, at least he hasn't missed both of them, at least. But yeah, no, they're all archetypes. So depending on what your favorite archetype is, you just fall right in line with it.
I think maybe not. I think I would go a little bit deeper than just saying the archetype.
Raph is my favorite archetype. So like pretty much in any show, I like that type of character.
Yeah, but you also, if I were to, outside of, in a bubble, I would say that Raph is the one who I think personally you remind me of the most, because you have the dedication and whatever is burning behind it. Like the fact that you were able to drop so much weight and then get completely exploited by the internet and take it all in stride You have that resolve. And I think what you're missing is you don't have someone, and very few of us do have someone that is like our essentially our friend nemesis, like the Leo Raph dynamic. So that sort of has to get left out. But I think, his tenacity shows, and there are a lot of characteristics that show up in you. Now, if Kayla hasn't given her turtle yet,
She already did.
Did she?
No, she said Leo's her zodiac, not her
she said
turtle.
Leo's zodiac. I don't. If she said it, I haven't heard it yet, so don't tell me. I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm like, this is like a phrenology sort of thing. So if I had to pick if we're going only on movie characters, that's the other caveat, because when you get in the cartoon, their characters change wildly based on the way the season goes or what is needed in the episode. Mm-hmm. So we're going hardcore canon movie turtles, and maybe we'll say first season of the animated series because they were still pretty close to the original source material. If I had to guess, I would say that Kayla, you are a Donatello, and here's why. And you may change your mind if I'm wrong, and actually think I'm right after I'm done telling you this. But Donatello has a very, a laser focus on perfection in his craft. When he's able to build something, machine quality out of nothing, and does it all the time. Whether those things work or not is debatable.
He's MacGyver.
Yeah, but and literally in the first first episode, even before the episode starts, in the intro, when you see Donatello with that giant machine that's blasting steam everywhere, and he's like, it's essentially an espresso machine, and he grabs the handle, he pulls it down, and the thing rockets into space. Like, sure, it didn't work out, but the fact that the intellect was there to put it all together, and I think that's what Kayla has. I think Kayla has the intellect to build something out of nothing that sometimes falls apart. Not every pun is a gem. But I think that the intellect and the intent
every
is there.
Pun is a gem.
Yeah, I think the desire to hone the craft into a diamond-like sheen is why you are a Donatello, Kayla. And if I'm wrong, I hope I'm not. I have no other recourse. So, Krista, I can't. Did Kayla weigh in?
Oh, that's an impressive and carefully cultivated psychoanalysis, but my answer really is the same as PJ. I was a Raph fan because size are cool.
That's what I mean. Like, it was you either liked Raph because he was emo and everyone liked an emo character, or you liked because he had size.
Yeah, let's not denigrate Raph by saying he was emo. I'm going to say
very emo.
No.
And he's a teenager. He's incredibly emo. He's going through a phase.
He's rude and he's passionate.
He listens to My Chemical Romance.
He's
if you say that again, PJ, there is no distance that you will be able to.
He would have had a swoop if he had hair.
If you keep on with this slandering of my turtle, there is no distance you can put between the two of us that I cannot close.
I feel like Leonardo would be more of the leader qualities, yes, but I feel like because he's also sensitive, but he can't really show it, that he would listen to My Chemical Romance.
No, listen, God damn it, PJ, nobody is saying My Chemical Romance after I'm done saying it for the rest of the night. There is not a turtle alive in any incarnation who listens to My Chemical Romance. What you want to say that like the Sam Rockwell character listens to My Chemical Romance, knock yourself out. You do not say that about the turtles. But no. Raphael is not emo. He is passionate. He is aggressive. He is short-sighted. He is short-tempered. He's not emo. He is a masculine macho dude with a huge dong.
Cherish said he would totally listen to MCR.
Cherish. Kayla, I'm going to make you a moderator.
Panic at the Disco would totally be Leo. That would be Leo.
Yeah, okay.
That I will accept. I will also accept Leo listening to 30 Seconds to Mars. I would
High Postal Service.
Maybe. I don't know.
Fallout Boy.
No, he doesn't see.
No, Fallout would totally be a Michelangelo thing.
Yeah, Fallout is Michelangelo.
Panic at the Disco. I'm sorry.
Just because the voices are similar doesn't mean it's like the difference between Jamiroquai.
They are
and
not
Daft
the same
Punk.
because Panic pretty much stayed the same their entire career, whereas Fall Out Boy actually changes a little bit.
Not only a little bit, they change a lot after all that money gets into their veins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's definitely what Leo is like, and Leo, he's the most relatable, and that's when growing up, he had the most fans. For me personally, in my personal experience, most people who I talk to who are into the Turtles are into Leo because number one, blue is the most popular favorite color of everybody on the planet. Two, he's the most generic of the Turtles, like he is the leader, but beyond that, he's just the one who's like bland enough to have a cool head and keep everybody together. So homogeneously, he does appeal to the most.
Blue is my favorite color, but I went beyond that.
Yeah, so you have to. It's time. It's that time in your life. You really have to think critically about where your allegiances lie. And I honestly, I have full disclosure. I'm such a big fan that before all my stuff got thrown away, I had all the toys. But to this day, my reminder is on that wall that I'm pointing to that you can't see, it's out of camera, is a full-size reproduction movie poster from the original movie.
I'll have to send you a picture of. I have I had a dude create like pictures for me that I have in my room,
like
of Raph.
That's cool.
Just like it's his own like rendition of it. It's like super dark looking and whatnot. I'll have to send you a picture of it.
I'm interested. I always love, like, when we used to go to Comic-Cons and stuff, for the Ninja Turtle art and look for all the always going to be the best. And then, so hoping for like a dead nuts ringer for all the sketches that April does. Like if I could get someone, I would pay them to just recreate the sketches of Donnie, Mike, Leo. I want everything that April has done hanging on my wall. So I just get someone, give them some colored pencils and be like, knock yourself out. Oh, that's another thing. Like the Shredder, man. When you think about it and break him down as a character, he's like the most ineffectual person in the world. But he backs it up at the very end, because like, so in the beginning, when the turtles show up and basically like it's their first fight ever and they save April O'Neil, and the Shredder, maybe this is a testament to how smart he is, but the Shredder knows that something is up simply by the description of how the underlings got their asses kicked in the dark. And that story was recounted to Tatsu, who then recounted it to the Shredder. And the Shredder was like, oh my fucking God, I know this shit. And he was right. He was just like, they're like, he's literally getting all of his information at best third hand until the end of the movie. And he's like, oh, I hear there's turtles out there. Go get them. Like, he doesn't question it. He's just like, go kill the turtles. I heard there are turtles. Get the turtles. We got this rat. There's a rat. I know where the rat is. Danny, he comes out. I know where the rat is, Mr. Shredder. What a dick, by the way. Dick move by Danny.
Don't like Danny.
What the fuck? So that was another gut punch as a kid. So like in the movie when the Shredder enters, first time on film, it's just this beautifully shot sequence where the camera is hovering above and there's this long shaft of light playing across this concrete floor. And then boom, this 20-foot tall Shredder shadow. Big heavy drums. And then he gets to the big room where all the kids are, and there's a hard cut in the line of the shadow because of the light coming down from the room. So he just like the shadow melts into him and he comes out on the other side. It is so... I am not one to gush about cinematography because I don't know shit about it, but this is so fucking beautifully shot. And then Tatsu pulls the things off his shoulders and he has that big speech. The Shredder's a genius and also an ass kicker because as touched upon in the trivia, one turtle touches him once.
Right.
Super badass. And all he does is talk shit. Like for if you follow the movie and the fight scene, it goes in an insane direction because, like, why is this happening? But as it's happening, you don't care. So they're fighting in the sewer. They work their way up to the street and then fight their way onto the roof of a building. What? Why? Where are we going?
But how does nobody see them?
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, they're yelling, but whatever. So the Shredder jumps down, and he's a badass. And all he does is turtles come at him. He kicks their ass. He taunts them. Repeat until he's about to kill Leo. PJ, how did you feel? And did you think Leo was dead?
Nah, they wouldn't have killed Leo.
I got scared. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw this in the theater and the Shredder, gets that spear right up against his neck, makes the turtles throw their weapons, I shook. I was so scared. And I was also very pissed that he would make them throw their weapons like that because they could break.
Yeah.
But, and then he's like, and then he gloats even more. He like basically tips his hand to be like, spoiler alert, if there were 3 of you left and you had your weapons, you probably could have kicked my ass. But you fucked up, and he's about to stab him, and that's when Splinter shows up in the best surprise reveal ever.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. And the fact that Splinter was able to explain to the Shredder that, hey, I'm a giant rat, I'm talking, and P.S., I'm the rat from 16 years ago in Japan. And with no hesitation and not even a second to second guess or fact check this, he pulls off his mask, rubs the scar on his face given to him so many years ago in Japan.
And it left a scar from
And he
a
buys
rat.
it. But not once in this movie does anybody mention the fact that they were mutated or that there was mutagen roaming the streets. Nobody asked the question. Not a single foot soldier, not the Shredder, not Tatsu, not a single person is like, so
maybe he was already planning Bebop and Rocksteady.
But he wasn't, because they didn't know that there was mutagen until the second one, when TGRI, those dumb fucks, were digging it up like a bunch of morons, and that dumbass who found the giant dandelion. Whatever. I don't care about that.
Did you know there was like a scene after the at the end of the movie, they had an added scene where Casey Jones and April O'Neil went to some comic book place to pitch a comic to be the Turtles, and it was like a whole thing.
I'm glad they left that out. What they did in this movie, all the right decisions were made. I think that even though Judith Hoag got a shit reputation for not wanting to look exactly like she did in the comics or in the animated series, I think it worked. If Judith Hoag was running around in a yellow jumpsuit for 94 minutes, it would have cheapened the experience, because nobody dresses like that. Like, you can't go on camera wearing a bright yellow jumpsuit. This isn't a cartoon. Give her the raincoat, give it the nod, be like, yep, we see what you're doing there. And then bam, donezo. Perfect.
Yeah, and the movie is so like nicely done when it comes to like
tight.
It's like dark. Like the movie is like, I don't know. It seems like everything's at night. Why have a giant bright yellow jumpsuit to make it look weird? Contrast.
I would like someone, I don't have access to the chat anymore, but I would like someone to Google how many times Raphael says damn in the film.
Gotta be a lot.
Because it's literally the first word he says. Oh no, first word he says is, wait, PJ, what's the first words that Raph says?
Oh, I don't remember what the first word he says.
Okay, I think I know. Okay, so the first words Raph says is, so they go and save, outside of all the why and all stuff that happens in the dark, the first thing that Raph says, because he's holding the sewer manhole cover up with the one remaining sigh, because for some reason he's a fucking ninja that's been training for 15 years. First time in real life, drops one of his weapons. First line of the Turtles, he goes, "Oh man."
Oh yeah.
And then April, and even from the point of view of Raph, you can see the cops are clearly watching her grab this sigh and cram it into her giant carpet bag. No one says a fucking thing. And that's the first utterance of the word damn from Raph as he drops the manhole cover.
Damn.
What a great movie.
There is nothing that says how many times he says damn, but there's people who made a drinking game out of how many times he says damn.
Yeah, somebody had to have counted. I've seen it enough times. If I run through the movie in my head really quick, I could probably figure it out. But nobody wants to watch that. But that was another thing. Like that was my first experience with swearing in media, whether it's like TV, movies, whatever. Like that was the first time as a child I saw somebody or something swear. And so, of course, the first thing I did was pick up my NES controller and start playing Mario and then be like, damn, I died. And my mom sent my ass to my room. Damn, I was here. PJ, maybe you were one of these kids too, but I was one of these kids who would want to repeat things they hear in the movies that they think is cool and then get in trouble for it later.
I learned my lesson at a young age to never repeat it around my parents.
Man, I didn't.
But I did used to repeat it all the time. Just never around the parents.
I would do the stupidest shit because I saw somebody do it in a movie. Like are you familiar with the Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn vehicle Overboard?
Yes.
So do you know when during the beginning of the movie, before she loses her memory and Kurt Russell is in there making her closet in her yacht, and she's making like, oh, cedar, we use cedar because of the mothballs and whatever. And then he says under his breath, he goes, sore thumbs. I don't know why he says sore thumbs, but he says it. And she's like, what did you say? And then he goes off on her. So I, as a child, got the great idea to, as my mom was yelling at me one time, be like, sore thumbs. Bad idea. Because no matter what you say, when your parent is yelling at you, you're going to get yelled at even more. Because sore thumbs doesn't mean anything. But if you say sore thumbs under your breath to someone who's yelling at you, and it happened countless times. I can't tell you how many times I would be in a situation like that. And I'm like, now's the time to pull out a sweet movie quote. And I go, damn! And they get sent to my room immediately.
Kayla says, Ultra Magnus said, damn it, in the Transformers animated movie, and it blew my young mind.
Ultra Magnus, yeah. But that was back, this was in the time, when you could still have scarring or potentially, I don't know, damn, is that, that's something I never found like believable, because like the 80s were over and the satanic panic was at an end, but like the 90s had a new wave of parental advocacy. And I just don't understand, like the Ninja Turtles movie, like there's no blood. I don't, it's very like comical. Like at one point, Michelangelo gets on his back and spins around like a top as Donatello swirls him like a giant bowl of cake batter. But still, parents in the 90s are like, oh, it's too dark. And sure, if you want to get upset and have him like, I don't want him to say damn anymore, whatever. But fuck you, parental groups of the 90s. Secret of You sucked because of you. I'm not even going to address the third one.
Yeah, it doesn't. It would just ignore that it exists.
The third one was my personal prequel trilogy. Because I saw the first and the second one as a young child. And then, since the third one didn't get a release and it was like straight to home video and there was no advertising budget, I literally did not discover the third Ninja Turtle movie until I was in my 20s. And it was just like watching, pod racing. It was awful. It was a terrible experience. And I thought, why?
Another movie that shouldn't exist. Yes, that one.
God, it was so sad. Like if you ever want, two perfect examples of the franchise completely ruining a character, Star Wars and Ninja Turtles. Because the prequel trilogy turned everybody into a loser, and it turned Darth Vader into a crying child. And the third Turtles movie, Turtles in Time, turns all the turtles into like disgusting turd monsters, gives Casey Jones a perm, and really screws up the principles of time travel. In that, PJ, tell me if you've taken any physics classes after I'm...
In high school, I did.
All right, so maybe this is some sort of physics thing that I missed. But so in the movie, they are holding on to this big like Chinese lantern that has magic powers and that looks like it costs $15 to make. And so they're all four of them are holding this lantern, and Mikey runs into the room wearing like a large pair of boxer shorts. They're white with hearts on them. And the other turtles are obviously like, what the hell? Why are you doing that? And he's like, well, if he shows up, I don't want to be nude. And I'm like, that's strange. And so if that is a legitimate concern, why aren't the other three turtles jumping on board so they don't have a bunch of hanging dongs immediately as soon as they disappear? But whatever. So cut to it, and whoa, we're going to the Wayback Machine. The lightning happens, and the smoke fills the room, and they are exchanged with their, because this is one of those mythologies where like it needs to be an even mass displacement, so they need to be replaced by 4 Japanese dudes of similar builds. And so we see them, boop, boop, boop. We got 4 Japanese dudes, 3 of them wearing like reed armor covering their chest and genitals, and one guy who is mysteriously absent of the reed armor, but wearing the boxer shorts. So what is it about boxer shorts that negates all other clothing traveling through time, PJ?
I have no idea. Hold on 1 second.
That might be a Troon question. Hold on, this is live. I can't believe that. Chat room? Can you believe this? Oh, he's back.
Sorry.
Left me hanging there. Me and the chat were losing our minds. But still, if there's a better movie out there produced in 1990, I haven't seen it.
No, it was a super good movie. I don't remember seeing the whole thing when I was younger, but watching it last night, it was a good movie.
I was a little worried last night watching it because as we were watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's all come back to me, and I knew all the words. I figured like halfway through I would stall and forget all the lines. Thank God I didn't.
That did not happen.
Thank God I was able to sail my way through with all. The only thing I have a problem with is at the end, the song Turtle Power by Partners in Crime. The rhyme scheme is incredibly clunky, but it's like 1990 rap. And so you gotta give it a pass, but it's incredibly difficult to remember because the rhyming is so clunky. You're like, It's kind of like chewing on marbles instead of rapping. And it's not even like good rhymes. It's just basically a story of like, it's the story of the movie in a song that they sometimes rhyme to, but definitely talk to a beat.
Yeah.
But, that was the thing. And then you got Vanilla Ice for the second one. Vanilla Ice, man. Holy shit.
I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, so PJ, what is your relationship to the second one?
I mean, it's fun, but I mean, it's not better than the first one.
Mm-mm.
It's kind of, the thing is, it's kind of like it plays off like how Ghostbusters played off to me. The first Ghostbusters film is really good. The second one was fun, but it wasn't nearly as good as the first one.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's more. Instead of an artistic expression of an original concept, it feels like it was a tailored from an original concept to fit a homogenous group.
Yeah.
But, the turtles are still there. It's mostly fun. The costumes aren't super stupid yet. Kino is an annoying character, but whatever. I mean, Raph's chilled out a little bit. But one thing it does have is David Warner. And when David Warner shows up in the second movie, it becomes delightful.
I don't know who that is.
So David Warner is a British actor who, in this movie, plays a TGRI scientist who is disposing of the goo that they dug out of the landfill.
Oh.
And so it's so stupid. Like, he's in this big room that probably cost $40 to build because it's nothing but Christmas lights and plywood. And he's slurping all the ooze out of the canisters into this disposal machine. And that's when Tatsu shows up to steal it. But David Warner, instead of being like, this is a shit movie for kids who are also idiots, he does not phone it in. He gives it his all, and he plays to the back of the room the whole time. Even when his character as a scientist has to explain how to get a formula he has concocted into the stomachs of 2 giant monsters, you believe him. and even so and here's the thing. So they get the goo inside of the monsters by using
the donuts.
Yeah, donuts.
Jelly donuts.
Trojan horse them into jelly donuts, so they freeze the goo, and they're like, why aren't they changing? And it's like, well, it was frozen, so it has to melt, and then they start burping. For whatever reason, the filmmakers were like, what if the bump in the road was they're burping too much, and that is retarding the chemical agent in their stomach? And then David Warner comes in and makes another believable speech of like, he's like, he basically addresses it. He's like, their burping is retarding the reaction. So we need to find a ready source of CO2. And he gets this, thoughtful David Warner look on his face, and he looks around and he goes, and he pulls a CO2 fire extinguisher off the wall. The best character of the movie. He's like a human Donatello. He's super smart, and he even tries to like cool it up, because as he describes what they're going to do to the monsters, Toka and Razor, at the end, like to fill the awkward silence after he's done describing it, he goes, "Yes, cool, right on, my man." And he just sort of keeps trying to add on these surfer phrases, and it's completely charming. Like there's nothing David Warner can do that is unpleasant. And that movie would be a 2 if it weren't for David Warner pushing it up to an 8.
We should watch it.
I've got it. It's right here.
I'm sure.
Let's take a peek. So yeah, here's the third one. Ugh. And the puppet for Splinter. It's just so sad. But what can you do? Oh shit. I got too much shit back here.
Yeah. Well, there it goes.
So PJ,
yeah,
I would like to thank you for coming on the show. This was fun, and I am, I'm impressed by your turtle knowledge, and I'm still on the fence about you personality-wise, thanks to the quiz. So we'll have to see what happens.
I nailed the Steven Seagal part. Can't lie.
Yeah, but you did give up your right arm.
Yeah.
That was a huge one. That really did cost you, I'm sorry to say. So I'm kicking the idea of adding to the FFOP 5 to make it the FFOP 10, but then we won't have that beautiful alliterative quality. So it might have to kick it up to like 15 or 50 or 45.
Get rid of trivia.
Yeah. So anyway, PJ,
you have to fill out this questionnaire before you start.
Right.
It'll be like one of those awful, like remember when you were 16 and you had to fill out those applications that were literally 90 questions that were on a scale of like strongly agree, neutral, whatever. I would never do that to you. But PJ, I do, before we go, I want to, number one, get a staff recommendation from you. So what would you like to give to our audience here tonight or in the future? What do you think? Are you experiencing anything? Are you watching something, listening to something that you think others should enjoy?
So I actually just recently bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake that came out on PlayStation.
Those are a very niche product, and I'm surprised that they are in your wheelhouse.
Of course, if you existed in that time frame, you played that game to some extent.
I existed and do not meet the second part of your criteria.
You did not play none of the Tony Hawks?
Not even for a
played the
second.
64 one.
Oh my God.
I had friends who had it and they tried to get me into it.
It's the whole reason that people knew who Goldfinger was.
I understand that there are video games out there that are pivotal in people's music repertoire. However, for me, that was Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, not Tony
God,
Hawk.
that's right up RJ's alley.
Oh man, like the most flat, pointless two-dimensional game in the world. Only reason I played it was I was in love with the Dead or Alive franchise, so I was basically just getting them all. And number two, the soundtrack was almost exclusively Real Big Fish, I feel.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of that sort of power punk ska shit that was around that time. And so I honestly hated playing the game. It sucked. It was very boring. But if I wanted to just check out and listen to music that I didn't own the CDs for, it was there.
Ugh, I used to love playing the 64 Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but that's like 100%. If anyone ever played the originals of that game and they wanted, like, the remake is does a very good job of taking the originals, making them play better, and then keeping the original soundtrack while adding some new stuff as well.
Yeah, here's the sticking point for a lot of remakes of stuff is since most things that they're remaking are like cross-platform and have different forms of media, like that's why most of the shows you love from the 80s and 90s aren't released because they don't want to pay the license for that music again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so when a video game, they obviously threw some money behind it because they obviously had to relicense the music after so long and to keep all that intact. Even if it's not creative, I like that integrity, so I can appreciate the.
They literally got the entire old soundtrack. So everything that was on that soundtrack is on that.
I can appreciate the attention to detail there because if you're going to redo something, redo it in a way that you're actually going to make it better and not either just be the same or worse. And I think a big part of that is keeping, if not like chunks of it wholesale, at least the tone intact.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to do because it's either going to be remade by fans who are going to be constantly on their knees, like sucking the life out of it and like making sure everybody knows how big of a fan they are of it, or it's going to be made by a bunch of people who picked up the license and see it as a cash cow.
Yeah.
But
it's great. It's tons of fun to play. Like it's a game you don't have to like just constantly play. You just pick up, put it down, play it when you want to play.
I'm glad. I like casual games like that don't necessarily like. Don't get me wrong. There's games like Red Dead Redemption 2 that I love and still do love, but the pickup and playability is like almost at absolute zero because if you're away from it for more than 5 days, you're lost in the story.
Yeah,
or at least I am. So I can appreciate the pickup and play aspect. I used to love Burnout Paradise.
Oh yeah, I have the remake of that too.
That's another one you can pick up and play, smash a bunch of cars around, listen to, one of those contemporary.
One of the best racing games ever made.
Oh yeah, every racing game should require you to be able to crash into people and or other cars. All of like the realistic racing games where it's like Gran Turismo or whatever, and like your car just unrealistically stays in one solid shape as it bounces off a tree.
You know why that is though, right?
I do, and it sucks. I think that's bullshit that motor companies are going to have us denied reality because they don't want to see their brand tarnished. Like not even imaginarily. Fuck you, Dodge, and everybody other fucking idiots. Like that's the whole point of the goddamn thing. People, you take a NASCAR fan, be like, hey, we take all the crashes out of it. You still a fan? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Let us crash your cars. It's a video game. Come on, Maserati. Let me blast the fucking shit out of your whatever. I get it. But still.
Yeah.
I would like to think that if I ever am depicted in that, you could probably, if someone wanted to like maybe make me a pedestrian exclusively getting hit by cars in a video game, I'd be fine with that because it's not tarnishing me. And plus it's probably hilarious. Anyway, so also, PJ, while I got you, you have a website and some other stuff rolling out. Do you want to talk a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, so my website is just it's mainly like a gaming platform. I actually just posted an article today.
If I'm not mistaken, chat, the link to it is in the notes of this. So
yes.
Play
No Save.
Yeah, there you go. Play No Save.
Yep. Yeah, so Play No Save, I just posted an article today talking about the fact that I haven't really played any new games lately because besides Tony Hawk, but like I've resorted a lot to comfort games in this time because COVID sucks and I feel anxious all day. So when I come home, I don't want to play something that makes me feel anxious.
Yeah, I find that the current incarnation of that for me is Monster Hunter because it's very cathartic to be stressed out in the world at your day job, be stressed on the way home because you're afraid of people acting like idiots. And just to come home and pick up a giant hammer and smash a T-Rex in the face, beat that world. I guarantee you can't. Like, not since Hulk Ultimate Destruction have I felt such like relaxation and catharsis in my life.
Yeah.
So I get that.
It's like I just wanted to talk about the comfort stuff because I haven't played anything like crazy in the past.
And now's the time for the
month or
comfort stuff. I want to go back and play, like Broforce. I would love to crack open again. I would love to go back and play Mother Russia Bleeds, because those are games that, again, you can just pick up, play as long as you want. There's no deeper story. There's nothing to dissect. It's just a simple, it's an arcade game. You throw a couple quarters in and you see as far as you can go until you get bored or you're out of money.
Yeah.
So on your website, I saw there was going to be a podcast also.
Yeah, so that will be popping up shortly. I'm just ironing out the
So I mean,
the details with my co-host.
So long term, we're looking at what? We're looking at reviews, articles, podcasts. And
My goal is to just post something every week, whether it be a review or just what's been going on. But I'll have videos popping up too. I actually should have a video up soonish. I literally just had someone make me an intro, so I'm getting ready to do that.
Finding and getting all of the pieces for a show is incredibly difficult. And I used to, since I did it so long ago, I completely forgot how nerve-wracking it can be to because you think, I just thought I'll just start it up again. Well, I should probably change the theme song. I should probably do this, probably do that. And before you know it, you're looking for logo designers again and having to do new intros and stuff. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
yes, it is.
I feel for you, man. Starting something, once it's rolling, it's fine. It's definitely easier to drive in a car down the road than it is to put one together. But you're not going to get down the road unless you do put it together, and it might fall apart before you get there. I mean, we've had a couple cars fall apart. Anyone remember the Reviewniverse or 50/50?
50/50 is not bad.
50/50 wasn't bad, but it did not make it far down that highway, my friend. The road of life was not kind to it. Oh, man. So I guess, that's it. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Does anybody need to know anything? I'm also, okay, so if you are watching this live or in the future or whatever, coming up to, it is going to be the 16th. 16th, we're going to have Scott Vaughn back on the show. We're going to do Universal Monster Trivia. So that's the classic Universal Monsters. Everything from Frankenstein to the creature from the Black Lagoon, I think is or maybe the Invisible Man, I think maybe, well, whatever. The classics. We're the classic movie monsters. And then, guys, Friday the 18th, Popeye Vogelsang of Far Side and your favorite train wreck is going to be on the show, number 1. He'll be hanging out with me, number 2, and that is enough for me to stop right there. But he'll also be playing live music.
So excited.
So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be, basically this show, but also a good concert. So you'll only hate it half the time.
Well, you'll only see David.
Plus you'll only see me. That's the thing I need is an intern or somebody to teach me how to do video so I can have somebody working a board and cutting to other things instead of just people having a static shock on my ugly ass the whole fucking time. But whatever, moral of the story is it's going to be basically a free hangout and concert on Friday. Yes. So you definitely want to show up for that. And, I understand there's probably a lot of people out there I'll catch it later because it's going to be recorded, but you won't be able to interact in the chat. I think that's the most important and fun part of all this live shit is you get to blow up the chat and Krista gets to read it and we all get to laugh at shit. And so if you're in the chat and experiencing that concert live,
if you have questions for a former musician,
here's the thing. Even if it's on YouTube, I think there's still a magical quality to something being live.
Yeah.
It's
Viva the typing square. Yes.
Yeah. So guys, do come to that. Spread the word. If I would like it to be as popular as our Gavin show.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Honestly, all cards on the table. If 0 people showed up, wouldn't give a shit because I already won. Popeye gets to be on my show and he's going to play me some songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm offering you the invitation because I'm generous. So I hope you can be there too, PJ.
I will definitely show up.
Now you can't turn me down because it's live and you would look like a
no.
asshole.
I don't have to work late on Fridays anymore, so I can actually do that.
I am so like the next few Fridays I have planned are like gangbusters. I don't want to like tip my hand too far in advance because we've got a really big one coming up. But after this one with Popeye, Sierra's coming back for more true crime, which is always a fun time. And I'm bummed that the first video got fucked. But once again, PJ, worthy adversary. I appreciate your time and energy. And I'm glad you can come on here and we can talk about my favorite movie.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Everybody in the typing square, thanks for showing up. I call you out by name, but I don't know because it's frozen. But you know I love you guys. Everybody who types in the typing square.
Yeah.
Is this how they used to do it back in the day? Heart. That's stupid. Anywho. I'm sorry.
Your heart looks terrible.
I'm sorry I did that.
What
It was
the
embarrassing, and now it's trapped on.
This.
I wasn't a 13-year-old girl when that was hitting the scene. So
Try
sorry.
harder.
I missed it.
Oh, that was like a
Try
blob.
harder.
Whatever, guys. Once again, thank you so much for showing up, for being a part of the show, for listening, for doing whatever way you get involved. I love it all. Thank you so much. Good night. PJ, tell everyone good night, and we are out of here.
Have a wonderful night, everybody.
We'll
Bye.
see you in a couple of days, guys. Awesome, PJ.